today's episode of Conversations with the Clergy, Father Mark and I want to talk to you about coming back to Mass. In this brief episode, we will be referring to Bishop Joensen's letter to the people of the diocese on May 15th. You can find his letter on our website or on the diocesan website at dmdiocese.org. You may have heard that some parishes have already begun having daily Mass. That is true. Some parishes were given permission to begin daily Mass on May 21st. The bishop's reopening plan, or plan to come back to Mass, is done in two phases. Phase 1 is return to daily Mass, followed by this phase 2, which is Sunday Mass. Parishes are allowed to begin phase 1 based on a county-by-county basis. Determining the counties allowed to reopen is based on the diocese consultation with the Iowa Department of Public Health and the Center for Disease Control. By the bishop's definition, the beginning of phase 1 is contingent on a reasonable decline in the incidence of COVID-19 in your particular county. As of now, Polk, Dallas, and Warren counties, which you might want to call the metro area, do not have the bishop's permission to begin phase 1. The metro counties and 4 other diocesan counties are not allowed to reopen based on the account of still rising or insufficiently diminished incident of the contagion. It's hard to say when we'll be gathering again. At this point, it appears it could be at least a month.
So as we start to gather ourselves and think about coming back, a couple of thoughts for you as you prepare. The Sunday obligation has been suspended, but who maybe should delay coming to Mass initially? If you are elderly and you are more susceptible to the COVID-19 virus, if your health makes you vulnerable, if you've been around somebody who has the COVID-19 virus, if you live with somebody who is vulnerable, and if you are yourself experiencing some symptoms of the COVID-19 virus, then you probably want to wait a little bit before you come back to gather with us.
When we do regather for communion, that big question will be, what do we do for communion? For one, if you receive communion on the tongue, you're asked in the spirit of charity to others receiving communion that you receive communion in the hand rather than on the tongue. If you still wish to receive communion on the tongue, please go to the priest, be the last one in line. And since the priest may get saliva on his fingers or he may breathe on his hands, the priest must wash his hands between each person who receives on the tongue. Also, we will not be receiving the precious blood in the cup for the time being. And we won't be doing the shaking of hands or hugs during the sign of peace.
So some of the logistics that we need to start thinking about. So Father Ray and myself and Emily and Deacon Bill and the staff here have been working for quite some time on what the regathering ultimately is going to look like. So just here's some logistical things that we're trying to think about to see if we'll implement, and you'll learn more about this in the coming days and weeks. Logistics. The north door is being closed for daily Mass so that we can all come through the same south door. The south doors themselves will all be open, so we no longer have to, so you don't have to touch the doors, giving more circulation of air coming through the building, as well as just making it that you don't have to touch as many surfaces. We will certainly be taking your temperature as you enter into the church, and we also would highly advise you prior to coming to Mass that you take your temperature so that you're aware of if your temperature has spiked a little bit so that you don't come to Mass and put others at risk. Consider attending Mass occasionally for daily Mass rather than coming on a daily basis. So we're not going to be able to fit as many people into the church. So maybe if you are used to coming to daily Mass 5 days a week, perhaps just a couple of days a week, so that more people have the opportunity, because we really don't know what the demand is going to be at this point. A big day for us normally is maybe 100 people for daily Mass. Will we have 200? Will we have 50? We don't know, and we'll send out some correspondence, I think, Father Ray, to try to get a better idea, a feel from you, who's thinking about coming to daily Mass. That'll make it easier for all those planning and logistics that we have to do. Social distancing. Seating in the church will look different. You'll probably not be able to sit in your regular spots. I know as Catholics, that's tough for us sometimes. And you may have to sit in the front. Well, there's something that Catholics really don't like to do, right, Father? Hospitality ministers will greet you as soon as you enter in, and ushers will seat you. That way we can control the environment and try to keep people from passing by each other if we don't have to. Try to minimize that. Ushers will seat people so they can fill the church from the front pew to the back, as I spoke about, in order to kind of prevent bottlenecks when we enter in and when we're leaving as well. And then ushers will guide you to communion to maintain a safe social distancing. So communion will look the same as well. 6 feet in between people walking up for communion. That will change things considerably. So probably not everybody standing up at the same time, because it could be a while before the line moves up and makes room for people to be able to have that 6 foot separation.
We ask you to attend Mass only in your home parish. Even though some parishes opened up already, the bishops asked us that we not go to other parishes. Please go to Mass at your own parish only. That way it's charitable to the people in the other parishes to allow their parishioners to go to Mass there. I think we mentioned we'll have hand sanitizers for you when you come in. So we've been working on this for a while, been working on our plans for a while, been working on our regathering plans, and we're still working on them, we're still finalizing them. And we plan to have a more comprehensive video available for you, hopefully soon. So I know you're anxious to get back to Mass. Father Mark and I are anxious to get back to Mass. Presiding to Mass and preaching to cameras is a little unusual, isn't it, Father?
It's unusual.
So we're ready as you are to get back to Mass. So in the meantime, before we gather again, keep praying for the parish, keep watching Mass, participate in Mass by streaming, and we will gather again soon. God will bring us together, and the parish will be vital, and worship again soon.